Hello everyone, back to today's first video. Going to have a look at the JMA free monthly model for today's first video. It's going to take us through August, September and October. So you get to see what the JMA is showing in detail for the end of summer and through to the middle part of the autumn. Just say this will form part of the second autumn 2018 seasonal model roundup that we're going to release at Gazovins on Saturday. That'll be up first thing on Saturday morning. So this forms part of that update, but we're going to look in depth for this update. You see what I mean? There's so much information you can get from the JMA seasonal model, and we haven't got time to go through it in the seasonal model roundups because we've got something like 12 or 13 other long-range models to look at. So we'd always like to isolate this one out and have a look at it and see what it's showing. So that's what we're going to do for today's first video update. Just say that coming up later on today will be a look at the weather for the next week, 10 days. We'll have all of your heat wave latest, and we'll probably be updating Storm Watch as well. If I can fit it in, there'll be a festivals update for this weekend, but I'm not sure with so much else going on that I'm actually going to be able to get that done for you today. But I'll try my best and see what we do. But I'm going to start off by having a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly flowchart from the JMA for August 2018, and we're looking at the pole view down for this one. So this is the North Pole of the Northern Hemisphere up here. Mid-latitudes of the Northern Hemisphere are around there. And sort of yellow, orange, brighter colours extrapolated to high pressure, blue colours extrapolating to low pressure. So that we find we've got an area of above average height sitting over the UK for August, with below average heights up to the north. The flow and the jet is going rather like that. So we're looking at an anticyclonic signal there for August. High pressure dominating the weather. You would expect the wind to be coming in from an east or southeast direction. So a lot of dry weather, potentially very warm or hot, I would have thought, for August. The long hot summer of 2018 goes on if the JMA is correct. This is how September is looking. So for September, we find that we get an area of above average height still there to the north of the country. It's a little bit further north, so we're bringing more of a east or possibly even northeasterly flow in across the country. And pressure is weakening a little bit down to the south. So although it does look very anticyclonic and not all that different from August, I think that would probably be not as warm. There'd be a little bit of a northeasterly component to the wind. And certainly for the south, potentially you could also get some heavy showers, possibly some thundery activity threatening from the south at times. Overall, though, it's a pretty good anomaly. I mean, it's still anticyclonic just to our northeast. So we're probably nitpicking a bit. For early September, that's not too bad at all. But then we get through to October and we see a real change taking place in October, with an area of below average heights setting up over the top of the UK, and the above average heights are being pushed back well to the northeast and also in the middle of the Atlantic, which means that for the flow and for the jet we're doing something a bit like that. So October looks like it's where autumn proper sets in. Of course, it is the middle month of the autumn, so you'd expect autumn proper to be setting in October. But that looks a lot more unsettled. Showers or longer spells of rain, and quite a lot cooler as well in October, if that's right. So let's have a look at the tropical and mid-latitude view next, and we see for the 500 millibar height anomaly. We recap the 500 millibar heights, but the main reason for looking at these is so we can see the temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with those heights. British Isles just here in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. So a reminder of the August anomaly, 500 millibar height anomaly. It has above average heights over, can't really see Scandinavia all that well, but over and just to the east and northeast of the country, you expect us to be bringing in very warm or even hot east or southeasterly winds. The temperature anomaly is coming out warmer than average here, quite significantly so, really, for a monthly anomaly. There are some little, hard to make them out, but there are little yellow areas just there indicating that it could be a very warm, potentially quite hot month. Temperature anomaly is 1 to 2 degrees above average, close to the UK. And the precipitation anomaly is also, unsurprisingly, with high pressure dominating, precipitation is also coming out drier than average. So the long hot summer goes on in August. That's the basic message from the JMA, that August is likely to see a continuation of high pressure and therefore significantly drier and warmer conditions. If we have a look at the wind arrows, so you can see the mean wind direction, it's a little bit difficult to make these out. But overall, kind of east to southeasterly with those black arrows. You can see them over here as well. Easterly is coming across much of central and northern Europe. Been this situation right way through this summer. It has been a very easterly summer, and it goes on for August. So expect more hot and dry weather in August if the JMA is right. And based on the charts we're looking at the moment, in terms of shorter range, certainly that looks pretty accurate for the early part of August anyway. We go through to September. Reminder of the 500 millibar height anomaly for September. Above average heights, a little bit more to the northeast of us in September. So high pressure still close, but just a subtle change in wind direction we thought might go a little bit more northeasterly. So that might have an effect on both temperatures and precipitation anomalies. Temperature anomalies are still coming out a little bit above average. I don't think the ceiling is as warm as it is in August, though. So still a bit warmer than average, yes, but closer to average compared to what we see in August. Rainfall-wise, and this backs up what I was saying in the North Pole view down view. So it's going for a drier than average September for Scotland and Northern Ireland, but for England and Wales, actually coming out a little bit wetter than average. Notice wetter than average condition across much of Europe as well. So pressure is weak to our south, and the high pressure is migrating further north to even perhaps be a little bit of a northern blocking type feature. So underneath it, you can get troughs of low pressure, which would, in this scenario, particularly be affecting southern parts of England and Wales, bringing either a risk of heavy rain or maybe even some thunderstorms. Let's have a look at the mean wind direction, but via the black arrows. And again, very easterly, possibly hinting at going a little bit northeasterly, if anything. If we look here, still generally easterly across much of the continent. So either easterly, maybe northeasterly, with the wind direction in September. I mean, it's all changed in October. Finally, month 3 brings below average heights and parks them over the top of the UK with above average heights in the middle of the Atlantic. And the ridge that has given us this very long hot summer has pushed over into Russia, basically. So we're in a proper Atlantic flow there. Very different pattern to anything that we've seen for a long time, with below average heights over the UK and the jet stream returning. Temperature anomalies are close to average in October, possibly hinting at being a little bit above average. It would be a very westerly month, I would have thought. And then the rainfall anomaly generally coming out above average across most parts of the UK. So it is looking like a relatively unsettled and quite wet month in October. The mean wind direction in October is kind of like so kind of like sort of westerly to northwesterly with the black arrows just there. So if anything, you probably think that the temperature anomaly should be a little bit cooler than that showing at show would have thought, given there's a little bit of a northwesterly component, and I think we are probably on the cold side of the jet stream as well, by the way. So maybe you would expect temperature to be a little bit cooler than that showing in October. The main thing is that it's a very different pattern after this prolonged spell of high pressure that's been going on since May, and it's going to carry on through August if JMA is right. It's still sort of around in September, but it's further north, allowing for a slightly cooler and slightly more unsettled month, particularly for the south in September. But really, it's still influencing things even in September. It's only in October that finally we change the weather pattern and we turn things both quite a lot cooler and quite a lot more unsettled too, potentially, for the middle of the autumn. Of course, that's 3 months away, so it's the most unreliable of all of this. And I think the main thing to focus on is probably the fact that it looks like we're going to keep the hot summer going through August. No sign, really, of a reprieve in August if the JMA is right. We can expect more very hot, dry conditions to come. Now, as I say, this video, or this update from the JMA, will be forming part of the Autumn Seasonal Model Roundup, the second Autumn 2018 Seasonal Model Roundup. So we won't have time to go through it in depth in that video, but if you've already watched this one, you'll know basically what the JMA is doing for, not the full autumn, because that will come on stream next month, actually, the full autumn update, but certainly for the first and middle part of the autumn, you now know what the JMA is showing. So when we do that seasonal model roundup, and we only touch on the JMA for a minute or two, you'll know broadly what the JMA wants to do in the next 3 months. Right, so that's update number 1 for today, done and dusted. Later on today, we'll have a look at weather for next week, 10 days. We'll bring you all of the heat wave latest, and also I think we'll be updating Stormwatch at some point today as well. If I have time, I may not do so many updates, but if I have time, then we'll do a festivals update as well today. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.